I seek refuge in God from the odd case Satan. In the name of Allah, who is gracious, merciful. Quran Topics by Tanvir Kazmi. Chapter number 60 Usury. Practice of lending money at high rate of interest. Al Baqarah, Surah 2, verse 275. Those who charge usury are in the same position as those controlled by a devil's influence. This is because they claim that usury is the same as commerce, the trade. However, Allah permits commerce and prohibits usury. Thus, whoever heeds this commandment from his Lord and refrain from usury, practice of lending money at high interest rate, they may keep their past earnings and his judgment rest with God. As for those who persist in usury, they incur hellfire, wherein they live. Allah condemns usury and blesses charities. God dislikes every disbeliever as guilty. Those who believe and lead a righteous life and observe prayers and give charity, they receive their reward from their Lord. They will have nothing to fear, nor will they grieve. O you believe, you shall observe God and refrain from all kind of usury, if you are believers. If you do not, then expect a war from God and His Messenger. But if you repent, you may keep your capitals without inflicting injustice or incurring injustice. If the debtor is unable to pay, wait for a better time. If you give up the loan as charity, it would be better for you if you only knew. Beware of the day when you are returned to Allah, and every self is paid for everything they had done without the least injustice. O you believe, when you transact a loan for any period, you shall write it down, and an impartial scribe shall do the writing. No scribe shall refuse to perform this service according to God's teaching. They shall write, while the debtor dictates the terms. They shall observe God, their Lord, and never cheat. If the debtor is mentally incapable or helpless or cannot dictate, their guardian shall dictate equitably. Two men shall serve Two men shall serve as witnesses. If not two men, then a man and two women, whose testimony is acceptable to all. Thus, if one woman forgets, the other will remind her. It is the obligation of the witnesses to testify when called upon to do so. Do not tire of writing the detail, no matter how long, including the time of repayment. This is equitable in sight of Allah, assures better witnessing, and eliminates any doubts you may have. Business transactions that you execute on the spot need not to be recorded, but have them witnessed. No scribe or witness shall be harmed on account of their services. If you harm them, it would be wickedness on your part. On your part, you shall observe Allah, and God will teach you. God is all-knowing. If you're traveling, if you're traveling and no scribe is available, a bond shall be posted to guarantee repayment. If one is trusted on in this matter, they shall return the bond when due, and they shall observe God their Lord. Do not withhold any testimony by concealing what you had witnessed. Anyone who withholds a testimony is sinful at heart. Allah is fully aware of everything you do. To God belongs everything in the skies and the earth. Whether you declare your innermost thoughts or keep them hidden, God holds you responsible for them. They forgives. He forgives whomever He wills and punishes whomever He wills. God has power over everything. Al Imran Surah 3, verse 130. O you believe, you shall not take usury, compounding over and over. Observe God, and that you may succeed. Beware of the hellfire that awaits the disbelievers. You shall obey Allah and the messengers, that you may attain mercy. You should eagerly race towards forgiveness from your Lord and a paradise whose width encompasses the skies and the earth. It awaits the righteous who give to charity during the good time as well as the bad times. They are suppressor of anger and partners of the people. Allah loves the charitable. If they fall in sin or wrong themselves, they remember God and ask forgiveness for their sins. And who forgives the sin except Allah? And they do not persist in sins knowingly. Their reward is forgiveness from their Lord and gardens with flowing stream. They will live therein forever. What a blessed reward for the workers. Al Nisa, Surah 4, verse 161. And for practicing usury, which was forbidden, and for the consuming the people's money illicitly, we have prepared for the disbelievers among them painful punishment. Al Rum, Surah 30, verse 37. Do they not realize that God increases the provision for whomever He wills, or reduces it? These should be lessons for people who believe. Therefore, you shall give the relatives their rightly share of charity, as well as the poor and the traveling alien. This is better for those who sincerely seek Allah's pleasure. They are the winners. The usury that is practiced to increase some people's wealth does not gain anything at God, but if you give to charity, seeking God's pleasure, these are the ones who receive the reward manifold.